Wow, what an amazing business to be in, though.
Yeah.
Right? To be surrounded by beautiful cars all day long.
Absolutely.
Is it a passion?
No, yeah, I think I've made it a passion.
Okay.
You know, when life gives you a lemon, you make lemonade.
I like
So yeah, I've made it a passion, and it's almost 2 decades now in the motor industry. So yes, I've made it a passion.
Okay, so another alchemist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think before we dive into your journey and your biggest blunder, tell us a little bit about where you grew up. How did this all start for you?
No, thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. I'll try and raise my voice so that you can hear me. So I'm born and bred in a farm near Grahamstown in the Eastern Cape. And I always tell this to people that when I say I was born in a farm, it doesn't mean that my folks are owning the farm. They were laborers there, so I need to declare that very quickly. Don't think that I'm coming from a well-off family. No. They were laborers there. So I was born there in the farm near Grahamstown, which is called Makanda now. And went to study mechanical engineering in PE, drop out. I didn't know any better. First biggest blunder. Okay. By the way, walk with me, there's many of them. So I dropped out simply because the folks couldn't afford to stay in a farm. I didn't know anything about loans and study loans and all of that. Bursaries, I knew nothing. I'm as raw as you can as you can get them. Drop out at the varsity, and then I went to work at the restaurant in Neisner. My uncle was a driver there, so he got a job for me during school holidays, and as a cleaner. And so I was cleaning toilets there in the restaurant, and then from cleaning toilets I got promoted. Very exciting. Got promoted to be a scullery, so now I was washing dishes instead of washing the floors. From scullery, then I never looked back. I became an assistant barman. I became a barman, and then I became a waiter. And then I was on my way out of the hospitality industry within the space of, I would say, about 18 months. And then I went to join Liberty Life in George. Okay. Fascinating story. So while I was working at the restaurant, some wealthy financial advisors in the area used to like to come to the restaurant and have a drink, every day. So we started to engage, what are your future goals and plans? No. I want to get into business, in the future. I don't have any qualifications. And said, okay. And then the opportunity came with Liberty Life. They were looking for broker consultants. Okay. At the time, they were trying to transform the insurance industry to get some black players in it. From the restaurant straight into Liberty Life at the age of 21.
But that's what networking does.
Absolutely.
You were networking, right?
No problem.
It will catapult you.
Absolutely. And long story short, the power of education, and that's why I said it was my first blunder to drop out of school. Education is so important. When I got the job, I walk around telling people that I've got a job as a brochure consultant. Not a broker consultant, because I didn't get the name right. Okay. And I go, no, got a job as a brochure consultant. Not a brochure consultant. Where is that? Only to find out I was a broker consultant. So and then from there I went. That's when I joined. I left the Liberty Life for the insurance space to get into the automotive sector. That was in 2006. Even there, I always like to start at the bottom. And develop myself up. So I started working in this industry as a salesperson. Okay. And I worked myself up over the years.
What did you start with?
So I started with a tough brand called Peugeot.
Yeah. Oh!
Peugeot in Cape Town.
Okay.
As a salesperson from Peugeot. Trust me, it was Volvo. Yeah. But the real progress for me in the automotive sector happened when I was with the Volvo brand. They say tough times don't last, but tough people do. That's a tough brand to sell. But I lasted for 6 years, and that's when I grew to become an assistant manager, brand manager, and subsequently become a dealer principal in Gauteng. So
Wow, what a beautiful start to where you are now, right? From what's that song? From the window to the floor. Yours is from the floor. So what an incredible journey. And here's the thing that I am fascinated by. You go from the kitchen to a brokerage, to becoming a salesperson in probably one of the toughest brands to sell, like you said. But you don't stop there, right? From there you go to start your own.
Yes.
And I love the name. Why the name?
Yeah, so Avari is basically wealth.
In?
Wealth in monetary,
Yeah.
and wealth in experience, and wealth in bringing others along and create more wealth for others.
Okay, but what language?
So it's a Greek word that we've converted into the shorter version of Avari, but there's a longer version of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why Greek?
Look, I think with everything, when you start to look for a company name, you want something that has got a meaning first of all.
Absolutely.
And this meaning, it must be something. Because remember, okay, I'm an optimist, so I always like think big, right? Simply because I come from a small place, I'm tired of thinking small. So when we look at the name, it's like, okay, what would be the global name that can resonate with everyone everywhere? It's going to be easy for them to pronounce. Because trust me, we'll go global. And the Greek word, the Greek word Avari came to mind, and it sounds like Kosa, Nali Pedinyana, Kunali Krikinyana. So it's just a combination of them, but there's a meaning towards it. It means well. We need to build and create wealth.
And also that long-term vision, like it's almost like you started where you want to end.
Yeah.
We're not just gonna start a brand because I'm dick of the guys at Audi.
Yeah.
No. I'm starting this business because I wanted to go global.
Yeah.
I want to establish a legacy. I want to create wealth.
Yeah.
Probably not just for myself, but for everyone that walks through our doors.
Absolutely.
And based on the cars that you sell, I'm going to assume that they already have to be wealthy.
Absolutely.
Before they even step through those doors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, the other thing that's fascinating for me about your journey is that it's almost as if it was all set up from the beginning for you to land where you are. Because they say that every founder must be a salesperson.
Yes.
Your job as the CEO is to sell, sell, sell.
That's it.
Right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure that plays a huge part in your success.
No, absolutely. I'm not a good salesman, but I'm a good networker.
Okay.
And also, I do find myself comfortable around others simply because there's a vision that is driving me. You know, if you're saying that you want to create opportunities for others, surely then you must be able to connect with everyone and everyone. I'm not saying that, take along everyone. Of course, you need to suss out what sort of environment you're in. Like for me to sit here with the kind of power that is sitting around this room, for me, it's a dream come true. It's a power of networking. It's a power of connecting with others, learning from others. Besides being a salesman, but just to connect with others. I mean, some of the people that are here, I used to see them on TV, and then I found myself playing golf with them the other day. I used to hear some of them on radio, and I found myself playing golf with them. And that's the power of networking, and that's the power of being in this space. And I just want to, I know I'm speaking to the converted here, I just want to encourage us to take this Venism network to the next level. Simply because I brought my daughter here today for a reason. And she's studying business management, and she's doing a second qualification now at UJ. But I said, no, come here because I want you to learn the power of networking and also to connect with like-minded people who wants to grow others and make this country of ours great. We can, as black people, we can do it. So she needs to learn it at a young age. So networking for me, more than selling, is everything.
And I think that's probably one of the key takeaways from already.
Oh, sorry, my wife is also here.
It's a family affair. One of the key takeaways from our chat so far is the power of networking. Even though you maybe didn't realize it in that restaurant, but you were networking with those guys from Liberty, right? And so when the opportunity presented itself, you leaped from the kitchen to Liberty, and that's incredible. So to our audience today, I know some of you might be introverts and you might be going, oh, but I'm not good at this networking thing. There's a lot of power in it, so you have to get good at it. Okay, so talk to me about your biggest blunder.
Biggest blunder is definitely in business. I think I've shared the personal one. Biggest blunder in business affected so many areas of my life. Personal life and everything else, just from one biggest blunder. And it was, so we started the business of Avari Cars in 2020. The vision started in 2012. I had this plan, I put in the financials and everything, and I'm looking for funding. And you know, the first place you go to is our friends that will never open the door for your government. Knock on every door, and if this and this and nothing happened, then I went to the private equity, and then that's where we got the funding for the business, and we're still the partners right now in Avari Cars. And with that, with me transitioning the way I did in the automotive sector, from a nobody into climbing up the corporate ladder, so to speak, also came in with a lot of power, gratitude, and being appreciated and everything. That went straight into my head. That now I've arrived. I can command this, I can call this, I can call that, and I think that power, I've used it in making wrong decisions at the time in my personal capacity, right? Because remember, now it's a power coming from the business, but now it affects your personal life in quite a bad way. So I had a rough, I would say 2 years after I've opened the business. I left Avari's at the time. I just I can't work with my partners the way we were working at I left it after 4 months of opening.
Wow! So you pulled a Steve Jobs, although Steve was
right?
fired.
Thank you. So I fired myself, and then fortunately I got back again.
Okay.
But I think my biggest blunder was to let power bring negativity into my life. And that for me was the biggest blunder.
So your ego drove you.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure for anyone in business, because entrepreneurship will humble you quick, fast,
Very
right?
Very
You will be humbled.
Very fast. Yeah.
So let's park there for a second. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about how your ego can seriously damage your business. What specifically was it in terms of your ego driving your decision making, driving your personality, it sounds like, to a certain extent, that got in the way?
Yeah, I think it was a matter of saying, I've been in the industry for many years. Who are these people to tell me this is how we should be running this business? And it's like, geez, I'm the one who came up with this idea. I just came to you for funding. So who do you think you are? Okay, keep your money, then I'm out. That's basically what I did. Yes, there were other factors, but I think with a sober mind and also controlling the power that you have, we could have made a sound decision. We could have had now 5 or 6 Avaris in the country. But I think in every challenge and every adversity that you get, it's going to teach you something. And for me, it humbled me, the experience in business and also in my personal capacity. And how you turn that around is a matter of saying, yes, I've got this power, but I'm going to use this power to create other powerful people in the automotive sector, just like me. Instead of saying, no, this is my power, no one is going to tell me anything about it. And to cut the long story short, that's basically what that arrogance and that power did at the time.
How did you get over yourself?
No, fortunately for me, I always come out of situations quite quickly. It was a matter of saying, why did you study what you studied? Okay. It was not about Thembinkosi. It was about transforming the industry. So I had to take that out very quick. Take myself out of the situation very quickly. That dude, it's not about you. You can perish and be finished tomorrow. Remember the why. So, and the why was to transform the industry, of which we are doing. In the midst of all the drama that was happening in my life at the time, then you get a phone call to say, no, we're looking for someone that we can put in the association in the automotive sector, and you are that person. So right now I'm serving as a vice chairman of the National Automobile Dealers Association in the country. And it came from knowing that you can use the power positively instead of using the power to think that you're more powerful, instead of creating others to be more powerful and transform.
Powerful.
Thank you.
think the second takeaway from this conversation is don't allow your power to destroy you,
Yes.
to destroy what you're building.
Yes.
Don't allow your ego to get in the way of the why. And I think a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we find ourselves in that existential crisis.
Yeah.
I'm in one at the moment. I mean, extra time in terms of that at the moment.
Yeah.
But like you said, you know, it always brings us to a point where we have clarity about who I am and how am I going to contribute to this industry.
Absolutely.
And what's the legacy that I want to leave.
Absolutely.
What a powerful journey. Is it blue? Sorry,
Thembinkosi.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, this is his house, so yeah, it's okay.
Thank you so much for
Yeah,
sharing,
thank you.
and yes to you holding that global brand.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.